Alright, so welcome to by far one of the strangest fights I've thought of for this segment. That's right, Wendy from Gravity Falls versus Sashi from Pen Zero Part-Time Hero. How would that go down? How exactly would that go down? Now, both of them are kind of like, I guess you could say, the real fighters of their respective teams. Wendy's a pretty adept fighter, so is Sashi. She does more of the fighting than Pen does, you know. They're the ones in charge of their respective men than, you know, the men themselves. Anyway, so what would it be like if these two had a bit of a cat fight? What would it be like if these two got into a fight? Now, let's talk a bit about Sashi. Sashi has been trained since she's been training herself for nearly 13 years. I think she's about 14 years old. And yeah, she's literally been training herself since her first, basically since 1 year's old. Yeah, I'm getting tongue-tied here. Basically, she's been training since she was a year old to be a warrior, and yeah, it shows. She's taken on goblins, orcs, monsters, zombies, anything you can think of in the multiverse, she's taken it on. Hell, it's even stated by Pen, she's killed things. She has blatantly murdered multiple characters. She has murdered off-screen several characters, and she enjoys it. She gets a kick out of killing things. God, I can only imagine what the sex would be like with, Pen would probably be I just kind of imagine Pen, like, limping out of the bedroom with, nail marks all over his back and possibly some burn and bite marks as well. Don't ask me where she got the blowtorch. Man, that'd just make 50 Shades of Grey look like the Bible now, wouldn't it? Anyway, so yeah, the other thing is that Sashi is incredibly agile. She's incredibly agile. It's very clear she knows multiple forms of hand-to-hand combat. She is very adept in multiple forms of hand-to-hand combat. She's also incredibly intelligent and can just easily think on her feet, but she has a crippling weakness. She gets very pissed off very quickly. She lets her anger mostly get the best of her throughout multiple occasions, where she will get so pissed off at herself or her friends or the mission itself, and she will just lose focus. So her anger is her major crippling weakness. She doesn't really have overconfidence in herself. It's more she keeps her head in the game, but she lets her anger get the best of her in those situations. Now, Wendy, on the other hand, that girl is a goddamn tank. You know, despite the small frame, that woman can clearly take a lot of pain. She's fallen from rooftops, she's been smacked by demons and ghosts, she's killed demons and ghosts, so it's very, I would imagine being, living as the only daughter of three brothers and a lumberjack for a son. Yeah, you're gonna have to grow up with some, bruises and some, and you better know how to fight. And trust me, she does know how to fight. Like I said, she's the main one who usually goes out and kills everything in sight when things go wrong. When the apocalypse happened, when the Weird Mageddon happened, she was totally at home with it. Yeah, she was very much at home with it. Now, she's not much of a fighter so much as she is a brawler. She doesn't really depend on, like, what Sashi does, is that, with Sashi, it's very clear that Sashi's movements are very clean, very skilled, and very well refined. Whereas Wendy, she's just a flat-out brawler. The best way to describe this fight is imagine Wolverine fighting Iron Fist, or Shang-Chi. That's the best way to look at this fight, is like looking at a female version of Wolverine and Shang-Chi going at it. If that's the case, then it would probably be X-23. But X-23 has a little more skill to her fighting styles. But yeah, that's the main thing, is that it's a brawler fighting a ninja. That's the best way to look at it. Wendy doesn't really have any fine hand-to-hand combat skills. It's more like, I'm gonna hit you till you don't get up. That's her fighting style, is, I'm gonna keep hitting you until you go down. And for Sashi, it's more, like I said, very clean, very skilled, and, it's very precise. Most of her movements are very precise. And, yeah, again, she's incredibly agile. But, however, I'm pretty sure Wendy could take the punches. Like I said, that woman, despite her, despite her frame, yeah, she's a goddamn tank, more or less. She can take all those punches and delve them out. Trust me, she's been, dropped from high heights. She's been thrown across buildings. Yeah, this woman, well, not thrown across buildings, but yeah, she's taken a lot of damage from the supernatural end of things, and she's killed a ton of said supernatural things. So, yeah, this is a match, this is an interesting matchup, because again, you've got Sashi who has all this skill, and Wendy who can take all that punishment, and delve out a lot of punishment. I'd imagine being punched by her would not be a fun time. So yeah, that's the big thing. But yeah, you also have to take into account that Sashi's anger gets the better of her. If she sees that Wendy's not going down, she's going to be very pissed. She is just going to be super pissed right the fuck off if, her opponent isn't going down, and yeah, that her anger might get the better of her, but at the same time, Wendy's not exactly the most sometimes she can let her anger get the better of her. But it looks like through most of the fights, it's more like she uses her anger to fuel her fighting. It's more just fuel to the fire for her, because we've seen her get pissed off, and then use that anger to just wreck shit. So this is an interesting matchup, more or less. This is a very interesting matchup. Like I said, it's like Wolverine. It's like, kind of imagine it like a fight between Wolverine and Iron Fist, or Wolverine fighting Shang-Chi. So yeah, you guys tell me, who do you think would win in this matchup? If you think Sashi would win, put hashtag Sashi wins, and list off the reasons why you think she would come out on top in this matchup. If you think Wendy would win, put hashtag Wendy wins, and list off the reasons why you think she would come out on top in this matchup. Like I said, this is by far one of the strangest, if not most interesting fights I've come up with, and I thought the Iron Man and Bubblegum fight was a kicker. No, I think this takes the cake, more or less. So yeah, just comment below, let me know, who do you think would win in this matchup? Once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.